what's up, everybody? We're gonna get started in about 5 minutes. Just waiting for a few guys to trickle in here. Thank you guys for being here. We're gonna be going through just kind of a basic outline of what to expect when you're starting to collect collectibles, specifically sports cards. Primarily the three major sports: basketball, football, and baseball. I have two gentlemen that are gonna be helping me out with today's presentation. These guys have been collecting for a long time and really know their stuff. But I'm going to do my best to help you guys out with understanding the basics, okay? So give it about 5 minutes and we'll be back.
Yeah, I know. Yep. But she ain't getting it for Zolani though. Because she didn't she couldn't claim Zolani on her taxes last year.
All right, guys, what's up? We're going to get started right now, just about 1 more minute. Gotta get started a little bit earlier right now. I've got a ton of things to go um, handle today, so we're going to be discussing a lot of things today. Um, so if you guys just keep yourselves on mute for now, and then we're going to be presenting some stuff. And as we go along, submit your questions to members, streams, chat, and then we'll go from there. So let me send you guys something here. Actually, Top It, do you want to stream as well, or should we just let me see
Yeah, I can do that. I gotta figure out how, but I
here?
can do that.
Yeah, on the left side, you're gonna hit share your screen.
I can't stream into this channel.
Oh, you're not allowed?
No.
Mm. Okay. Let me see if I can give you permission.
Just give me my own role.
Oh yeah, that'd be great, right?
Well, I mean that way you can turn on the permissions for that one, and not everyone have the ability.
Okay. O'Reilly's gonna give you perms right now.
All right, whatever.
All right. So you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. While Top Head opens up the presentation. So welcome you guys. Welcome to Oakmont. If this is your first time with us, thank you for taking part of this. Our mission here is really to give you guys every opportunity to be successful and to be financially independent as possible. And it all starts with investing, and not just in stocks, but in collectibles and flips and deals and errors, like just different ways to make money. Warren Buffett, has that mantra of never relying on one source of income. So that's definitely what we're trying to do here with you guys. So as we get started, when we're discussing collectibles, the very first question you guys have to have in your mind is why? Why am I trying to collect cards? A lot of us as kids, started off trading cards, buying cards, maybe at Toys R Us or a local swap meet or thrift store. And then, we abuse those cards. We have them in our backpacks and shoe boxes. And now they're worth, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So the first question you ask yourself is, why am I in this? Am I trying to collect out of just passion, or am I trying to make quick money? Okay, you can do both, all right? So today we're going to be discussing about the differences between those two and how you go forward. Okay, Top Head is streaming now, so you guys can catch on to his stream. I'm going to disconnect very quickly. Let me see here. Let me cancel. Stop sharing. All right,
Okay.
So.
Excuse me. Oh my God. It's the infinite. All right.
Infinity.
Can y'all see this?
So you gotta change your window, your
I
screen.
did.
On the bottom of it, there's a little screen that has an arrow that says share your screen. You,
Yeah, that's what I did.
yeah, and then
Oh,
change
that's
windows.
horrible.
Yeah.
Change windows. There we go. Wait. There we go. Okay.
There you
Is
go.
that working?
Yeah, there you go. All right.
All right.
Make sure you have all your appropriate stuff.
Open it up. All right.
Wait, what?
Go ahead and go next.
All right. All right, guys. This is Oakmont Cards, obviously. All right. So, like he said, collector of cards or money. It honestly comes down to, what you want to do personally. I got into cards for money. It was something you could look at as an investment. I was buying packs and selling them, and then eventually I got back into ripping them, and now I'm in a financial hole. So don't follow that. But it's a problem that you need to look at. You want to have X amount of money used for investing, but if you're going to rip it and you're looking to grow your collection, you want something set aside for that too. So if you're finding stuff in the wild and you can sell half of what you bought and make your money back, and the other half is you can rip for whatever gamble you want, then that's perfect. But it's one of those things that you kind of have to weigh against each other.
Right on. So I'm assuming that most of us here are.
Speaking of finding it, you can find it at Walmart, Target, and Fanatics. Fanatics you can only do online, I believe. Walmart and Target are both in store. Now Walmart's, I believe, only stock on Thursdays and Fridays. Their vendors only stock on Thursdays and Fridays. Target's random, completely random. And you still got to find out, without doing some crazy stuff, you got to find out when they're stocking. So literally for me, I went to the same Target every day for like 2 weeks. I would go multiple times a day, and if I got there and there were no good cards, but everything was straightened, I would put something out of place. So that way, when I came back and I noticed it was straightened, I know like this is the day that they come, and then I just had to narrow down what kind of time they're looking at. And at that time, I had a lot more free time, so it's again one of those things you have to weigh. Now, Walmart and Target and Fanatics all release online. It's random usually. Fanatics is the hardest one to figure out when they're dropping, I think. And Fanatics is important because they have exclusives. So, like, they have Fanatics Prism Blasters, Fanatics Optic Blasters, or Megas, or whatever. And usually the Fanatics ones are not more expensive retail, but more expensive resale. I can't remember exactly how much they're going for, but like say the Prism Blaster was like $50 for the generic one. The Fanatics Prism Blaster, because it was more limited, was like $200. So it's definitely worth it to kind of like see if a group you're in has a monitor for that, or set up your own monitor by yourself, or just kind of check in every now and then. Because if you can score some of those are great flips. And then we have, and there's kind of those bots in the bottom left, as you can see, those prices are insane. Scottbot's the cheapest by far at $400, and all of these support their collectibles. So that supports usually Walmart, Target, Fanatics, sometimes Funko, but that's a whole different thing. But you can see it goes cheapest is Scottbot at $400, then Nebula at $2,000, Cage at $22. Prism at 4.1 and Swift at 6.5, which is insane. Local card shops, like I only have one near me, within like I want to say an hour and a half of driving, but usually they're really overpriced. If the going rate for say like if that Prism Blaster that's going for 50, I don't know if it's actually going for 50 right now, but use that as an example. Most local card shops will be selling that for like 80. It's a huge uptick than when you can find on the resale market, whether it's eBay or Facebook groups. That's where I do most of my buying and selling is Facebook groups, honestly. So everyone was in GMA. We're not going to talk about the logistics of that, but we're going to talk about what to spend those profits on. So the four main ones, three technically, because Pokemon's its own thing, but are Panini, Upper Deck, and Topps. Upper Deck doesn't really do anything. They're pretty much, you can write them off. You're not missing out on anything. And on the off chance you see an Upper Deck one of one go for like $50,000, it's rare, if ever. Panini is the bread and butter for pretty much everything. Football, soccer, not baseball. So baseball is specific to Topps and Upper Deck. Like I said, less Upper Deck, but Topps because they have an exclusive right. So if you buy anything Panini baseball, it won't have the team names, it won't have their logos, everything's removed, it's just the player name. So you want to avoid baseball from Panini pretty much at all costs. It's essentially worthless, outside of having something to rip. But football and basketball, Panini is it. The top four things for retaining value are Optic, Prism, and Mosaic. Oh, and Select. So Select's a big one, and it's always been hobby exclusive. And until this year, they announced that Select will be making its retail appearance for the first time, which is great and mediocre at the same time. Select is usually beautiful cards, great designs, but having that hobby exclusive, kept prices up. You had to buy this $2,000 box in order to pull anything from it, and now it's having a retail release. And there'll be variations, and I'll get into that in a second, that are exclusive to the hobbies, but still, it'll be interesting to see how that works. But Optic is the premium version of Don Russ. Usually there's for Panini, usually they'll release a base version, which would be Don Russ. Like they just came out with the Don Russ basketball for 2020, 2021, which has LaMelo and, Anthony Edwards, the rookies of this year for basketball. But thing is, with Don Russ, later on in the year, they'll release the same exact color, design as Optic, but it's a difference with cardstock. It's shiny. It's the same thing, but it's better essentially. So when looking at Don Russ, I bought and ripped a lot of Don Russ without remembering that Optic is going to be the exact same thing but better. So that's a good one to buy and sell, find and store and flip. Usually it's not super expensive on the resale market. I mean, it can be decent, but since it is a quote unquote lower quality product, it's cheaper, but it's still as fun to rip. That's that kind of balance you look for. So, and that brings me to packs versus boxes versus individual cards. Boxes, like mega boxes, blasters, even cellos, which are little packs, like fat packs or value packs. Those are typically, those are all retail. Buying individual packs is only kind of worth it if you find someone who's selling the individual packs from a hobby box, because those will have specific variations. Again, I'll get into it in a second. But and then individual cards. Now, I'm not too privy to the individual cards. I mean, that's like buying, that Drew Bruce that I posted in chat. It's good if you know what you want and you have a reasoning behind it. If it's for investing purposes, if you're like, okay, I'm going to buy up a bunch of LaMelo balls, and then when he wins Rookie of the Year, I'm going to sell because he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I'm going to sell. So that's good, but it's all about your own personal research. There's some pretty surefire things like Kobe cards are going to go up. Everyone expects because when he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame, which is this year. But there's no 100% guarantee. There's always the chance that it'll stagnate. But what's cool about cards, especially like rookies of older players like that, they can't re-release. They're not going to reprint a 2011 Prism of Kobe, something like that. So old cards, which is why Pokemon has been in the headlines so much, old cards do retain and increase their value. But again, using individual cards as investments is not something I'm comfortable and confident enough to suggest for. Z-Med, I believe, is in the group. He has great suggestions. I've seen him do stuff before. He usually has great advice on what to invest in. So that's what I would go with. Tops, real quick, it's the same thing. Optic, Prism Mosaic for Panini, Bowman, Chrome, and Sapphire. Mainly Chrome for Tops. Those are the big hitters. Tops is usually just baseball because they have the rights to it. That's who you're going to go with. Pokemon, you got to think, people put too much thought into Pokemon. It's the same thing as Optic, Prism, or Mosaic. It's just different set names. Shining Fakes, Hidden Fakes, Champions Path. You got to do your own research to see what's worth it, what's not. But the market dictates itself. With being popular at this point, it's honestly I don't think the Shining Fate set is that amazing. They have a Shiny Vault Extra, which is kind of confusing. I'll explain that in chat later. But I don't think it's that amazing, but prices are still pretty high because there's such a huge demand for Pokemon right now. Because it's not just young kids or old people, it's everyone. So Pokemon's popping 100%. So raw versus graded. This kind of comes down to the individual cards aspect. Buying what a lot of people do who have the time and the money to do it because grading takes so long at this point. They'll buy a bunch of the same card raw, And raw just means literally it's not graded. If it gets graded, it's graded. It's not raw, no longer raw. They do their own inspections on things. They'll see it on eBay or Facebook groups, but they'll, to yourself, you do your own research, say, okay, the corners are good, the edges are good, the surface looks clean, it's well centered, I'm going to buy this. And they'll buy up a bunch of them, and they'll sell them, send them to get graded. And if 2 out of 10 come back as a PSA 10 or BGS 10, anything like that, you probably made your money back. But a 9 could essentially be worth the same as raw. So it's another form of gambling, which most cards is. The only way you're really playing profits and you're playing like an educated market, like Chargy does with the actual stock market. The only way you're doing it like that is if you're buying and selling sealed product, because there's no variables in that. It's straight up what you're buying to what you're selling. If you're opening, it's 100% gambling, because you don't know what's in there, what could be in there, what couldn't be. So this is another kind of like picture of everything that like Panini has, for example. So they have Diamond Kings, which is their baseball, which again, worthless. Donruss Optic, which is Optics, the better version of Donruss. XR, Titanium, Timeless Treasures. They've got so much stuff that it takes a second and it seems extremely overwhelming. But when after being submerged in it for a little bit, you can really pretty much write off most of this and just say, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on. This is what has retail releases. This is what only sells on Panini.com, so I'm going to go for it. Blah 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 blah. But there is a lot out there, so I don't think it's just Optic, Mosaic, and Prism. There's tons and tons of different things. And I'm not trying to overwhelm anyone, but it is something you need to be aware of when you're getting into things like this. You want to understand all the variables. So, the variations that I talked about just a minute ago with hobbies, this is what I mean. So the top left is the base card. Nothing fancy. That's the design it has. You can pull it in a cellar, you can pull it in a blaster, or a hobby, doesn't matter. It's a base card. So, but after that is what changes how much money it's worth. So, silver, which is the next one to the right. I'll put one marker over this one. Silver is this one. Silver is just the base. It's not all rainbowy, it's just reflective. So it has rainbows, but only at certain angles. It's really sought after because it's so close to the base card. But it's enhanced again. Certain things, like the green, while it may be, I'm not positive what green variation was for Prism. If it was, variations will mean out of 200, out of 100, 1 of 1, out of 5, anything like that. Sometimes it doesn't have anything like these two. These were both, the orange were both blaster exclusives, I believe, for Prism. But this one, I forgot what the name of it is, Disco. Disco was exclusive for Walmart, I believe, and lasers were exclusive to Target. So if you bought a Target blaster, you could not pull this one, and vice versa. But there were no numbers on it. So that's why there's so many different things that go into it. So like the green may have been maybe a Mega Box exclusive, but if both of these say, I'm not positive what this was, if both of these are Mega Box exclusive, this one looks better because it's got its jersey colors in it. So that's one thing you have to take into account as well. Not only rarity when it comes to numbered things, but literally how it looks. The checkered is a case hit or a box hit out of gravity feeds. So those are the big boxes that hang on the walls in Targets and Walmarts and those card sections, and literally have like really thin packs of maybe 4 cards in it, and one or two usually cards out of that entire box. Say it's like 40 packs, 50 packs, something like that. 1 or 2 cards will have that checkerboard, and that's it. You know, you could pull 2 linemen. You could pull a vet. It doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason to it, and that's why it's gambling. But at the same time, this one's worth, I want to say, upwards of 2,000, 3,000. I personally have the red, white, and blue, which was a cello or fat pack exclusive, and that's even going for like 500. Haven't checked comps on these in a while, just because football season's been out. Since we're in that time between seasons, card prices would go down. It's just how it works. I mean, it's not in the limelight, so what are you gonna do? So this is a solid buying time for a lot of football cards. But yeah, again, I apologize. I haven't checked comps today, so I don't want to say anything but put my foot in my mouth. But like I said, silver, red cracked ice. They have blue cracked ice, green cracked ice, discos, waves for this one. Checkerboard. This is disco, but purple disco or pink disco or violet. There's so many variations, and places like Cardboard Connection is a good one, and Beckett, which is also a grading service. Both of those websites do great jobs at, if you look up the set, like 2019, 2020 NFL Prism, it'll show you all the possible names, every card you can possibly pull, all the rookies, what's typical for a hobby, what's typical for a mega, all that fun information. So you can educate yourself. Excuse me, I had a burp. You can educate yourself and make an informed decision before you buy anything for resale. Because especially right now, cards are expensive. I forgot what I have next. Oh, so when and where to blow your load. So should I grade is the biggest question. PSA, currently, I mean, all of them are backed up. SGC, there's some other ones. You want to stick to PSA and Beckett, which is BGS, which is Beckett grading. You want to stick to those two, and I'll show you why in a moment. But those are the biggest names. They're the most reputable, all that fun stuff. You want to just pretty much don't worry about SGC. Should I grade comes down to time and money. PSA recently increased their prices. I believe they doubled every price they had, which doesn't, I mean, it can be as little as $10 extra for economy, but economy's taken like 6 to 7 months. And it's up to, I think the max price you could pay was like a 2-day, and it was like $1,000. That's $2,000 now. It's insane. So when you're thinking about should I grade, you want to look at prices of that graded card versus prices of a raw card. Look at those percentages. And you also want to see, do I have the money and the time to do this? Because like if you got, like I just sent, I want to say 20 before the price hike, I sent 20 full art Pokemon cards to PSA for grading because it would run me $200, which I could afford, and it would come back in 7 months, which I didn't need. I didn't need them next week or anything like that. So I made that choice to do that. I can go more in depth in grading, and if you have any questions, obviously, for anything, please ask me. But there's other aspects of grading that are really important. And one I will show you in a second. PSA gives flat grades. It's out of 10, so you can get a 1 through 10. Literally, it's straightforward. Beckett, while it does 1 through 10, they do half points, so they'll do 9.5, and they'll also do subgrades, which is really important because of this thing called the black label. So you got SGC on the left. I tried to find all of the best, but I couldn't find a black label Zion Prism, but I'll explain why. So SGC, Zion 10, I mean, it's essentially the same as a Panini, or as the PSA. but I can guarantee you the PSA goes for more money than the SGC, just because reputation, how it looks. It's weird, but it's not something you're going to influence by yourself. It's just how the market's decided. Hey, PSA is the best. We want to go with that. So, the thing about Beckett is, like you can see, they offer subgrades. 10, 10, 10, 10. If you 10 out, sometimes you can pull a 9.5 in one category, you get a black label. And black labels means the card is goddamn near perfect, if not perfect. And that means it's worth a lot of money. And it's not like, like double. I believe I got a graded Charizard. When I graded it, I got a PSA 10. It was going for like $1,200. I was super stoked. I didn't sell it because I'm an idiot, so it's now like $200. But I digress. It was like $1,200. A black label Beckett was, I think, $20,000. Because it's just so incredibly rare to be able to pull off a perfect card, whether it's centering, edges, corners, or surface. Even the people who inspect it the most, it's damn near a crapshoot. And Beckett just charge more for their subgrades. It's like a $10 increase for each level, how fast you want it, blah blah blah. But it's almost worth bulk submitting to them and just praying you get a black label, because the numbers are just insane. But so that's the big two, PSA and BGS, that most people stay with. Both of these are shot on clear back or black backgrounds, but the cases themselves are clear. Just want to make sure. I believe the SGC is actually a black background, and at this point, there's a lot of other grading services out there. HGS, I believe, is a new one, and they're cool but they're not adding value to your card. Only really BGS and PSA do that. HGA is wonderful because the label they give you can correspond to the color of the jersey, or color of the team, or the color of the variation. You can pick and choose, but because it's unknown, because it's not it's not really reputable yet, because it doesn't have a huge following, it's not been around for 50 friggin' years. It's not worth what a PSA 10 or a BGS 10 is, and so it's good for personal. It looks cool, but if you're in it for money, PSA and BGS, 100%. And do I have another slide? Nope, that's it. So again, PSA, BGS. Don't worry about SGC. You're gonna want to sell on eBay or FeeBay, and especially with this $600 instead of $20,000 thing, you may want to look into local card groups, local places that do cash sales, and Facebook groups. Of course, be safe. You want to do your references. You want to do your due diligence, just like stocks. You want to make sure there's as few variables as possible. Variations. Again, if you have questions about any of this, I'm not going to go back through everything. If you have questions on any of this, feel free to either DM me. You can ask me a question and at me. Do whatever you need to do. But usually I'm around. But I'm going to go ahead and turn off my stream.
Thank you so much, Top Ed. That was a really, really great presentation. Great job.
Yeah, sorry if it went long.
No, it's okay. So you guys, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I wanted to give you guys a few examples, just like the way that we do our investment trading, right? It's good to see exactly what we're talking about. So let me show you guys a good example of what happened to me this weekend. So myself and Mateo Gris, we've been talking basically every day about cards. I let him know that I used to trade cards when I was a kid, but I really I just haven't done it, at all. Maybe since I was like 13 or something, 14. So I've got a lot of old Jordans, Kobe's from the mid 90s. I was a big Grant Hill fan, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, so forth. So I asked him, what should I be doing now? Like, what should I be buying or looking for? So he let me know about Prism, Panini Prism, as far as like the big name. I checked on YouTube, on TikTok, and so forth. So I went to a local card shop. I went to the local card shop and I purchased one pack of these 2020 Panini Prism football cello packs. Okay, so it's a pack that has an extra bonus pack within it. They give you 12 cards and then a bonus pack of these three cards. And that bonus pack is where you find these red, white, and blue packs. Okay, so I purchased one pack for $50. Okay, why did I pay that? Well, because I had the itch, to be honest with you guys. But I was at a card store. So here you see somebody bought three packs for 108. So they got right around a $35 price difference versus the 50 that I paid. But the difference for me was I could buy it instantly. When I opened up the pack, I pulled two cards. Okay, I pulled this same red and white and blue card, but obviously not Justin Herbert. I pulled Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Okay, so I obviously knew that I had something special, right? Because Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, the two Super Bowl quarterbacks, but I didn't really know what I had. Okay, so what I did is I went on here to eBay. So this is very important for you guys, especially if you're starting off, not knowing what to do. So I asked Top Hit and I asked Mateo the same question. I said, if I was a new investor, a new card collector, right? What should I be buying? Should I be buying packs? Should I be buying boxes? Should I be buying graded cards, raw cards? Where do I start? And it's almost like starting with stocks, right? Should I be buying options? Should I be selling calls? Should I be buying spreads? Should I be buying equity alone? Where should I start? So that's what I did. I purchased a pack and I pulled this card. So the first thing you want to do, go and search that card, okay? Or search a player that you like or that you're interested in. So let's search that Tom Brady that I pulled. Okay, so Tom Brady, right? 2020 Panini Prism, and it's a blue, white, and red card. Okay, why do I know that? Because it's on the card. Okay, so when you guys search eBay, and eBay is a pretty reliable gauge of how things are being priced. Um, there's something you want to do that's really important. I already have it here, so let me take it out before I do that. Um, on eBay, people can list things for basically whatever price they want to. So you can see cards go for $10,000 or $56. Go ahead, Tuppin.
Okay, so a good thing, real quick, this eBay information is perfect. There is a slightly better website to do it because you can see what it's sold for. I'm gonna drop it in chat, but it's 130 point. It's 130point.com, and there's a section for sales. So you can use this for anything across eBay.
Perfect.
But yeah, if you go on, like you said, you had the Patrick Mahomes red, white, and blue prism. You can go on there, type in the search exactly that, Patrick Mahomes red, white, and blue prism, and hit submit, and it'll show you every result matching those, the sale price, even if it was bid. If it was bid, it'll show you what it sold for. It'll show you how many bids it had. It also will show you best offer accepted. So if you had it for 700, if they had it for 700 and they sold it for actually 500, it shows the 500 rather than the 700 best offer accepted. So that's really important for narrowing down, getting comps on the card you're for. And like I said, you can use this for anything. If you want to find an Xbox for a good deal and you want to, or trying to sell it, same thing. Great tool to use.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tuppin. So yeah, so he basically gave us a shortcut for what we were trying to do. So here I'm going to search that, but let me go back over here to what we're talking about, and that's why I wanted to show you guys this. A lot of people see this and they either get discouraged or they get overly encouraged. So right now, the first three things that I see here are sponsored postings. So somebody's paying an extra cost to have these cards posted on here. So you see there's one for 99, there's one for 65, there's another one down here for 99 as well. So I'm thinking, okay, my card's worth $100, right? Because there's two offers here. But that's not actually the real price. This is just a listing. So like Top had said, you've got to see the sold prices. So if you scroll down on the left side of eBay, you'll see here that it says completed items and sold items on the left side. You're going to want to hit sold items. Okay? and it'll automatically repopulate. Sorry, my thing is a little slow here. I have too many windows open, but it'll show you. Okay, so today, March 15th, one card sold for $65. Okay, here's another one that sold yesterday for $42. Here's another card that sold for $51. So you see that the actual price of the raw card is right around $50 to $60. Okay, so remember I paid $50 for that pack. So this card alone already puts me at a profit for the whole pack. But this is the important thing too that you want to look at. The difference between raw and graded. So this card right here sold today for $65 raw, right? Means it's not graded yet. But over here on eBay, you can check graded, and the score shows a score of 10 or show a score of 9. So if we go to click on 10, it'll show us any cards that were sold that were graded a 10. And I'm sure I'll go back to the link that he sent. And this is what got me excited. So this was sold on March 6th. The same exact card, rated a 10, 2020 Prism, Tom Brady, red, white, and blue, sold for $1,658, you guys. Okay? So $50 invested, $1,600 off, right? Huge, huge numbers. So let's go look at the link that he sent. And it's still loading. But we'll pop up that soon. So you guys, I really think Tophead did a great job of presenting everything. He covered basically everything that I wanted to talk about. Oh, here we go. So here are some of the examples here that it shows, right? So you see there $64, best offer accepted, 42, 42. So a lot of these people are just trying to sell quickly these cards, and what they're really missing out on, to be honest with you, is getting these cards graded. Because obviously it's not going to sell for the same amount, 1,500, but it should sell for 2, 3, 4, 5 times the value of it. The only problem right now, like he said, is a delay with. Let me see if I could put graded in here. PSA 10. With PSA, they're talking about 6 months to a year as far as a delay in grading. So that's something you want to consider. So yeah, there it is here. The same card, $1,600 graded. And that's the only one right now. And that's the thing. I know we didn't go into specifics, you guys, but you will see these words a lot pop. It just means the population of how many of those cards are graded. Sometimes that's important, sometimes it's not. Mateo, did you want to jump in and talk about that really quick?
What was that, bro? I was like talking to top right.
It's okay. About pop, about how some of the cards have this writing, pop 1, pop 10, about the population.
Yeah, they're just talking about the population of the card graded. I mean, it comes down to a couple different things. Like, I mean, they mass produce certain cards, and certain cards are graded a lot more. Like, for example, that red, white, and blue Brady, say all those are sold, one of them's going to get graded. So, I mean, that's why it drives up the price. What happens is you want to get the lower population because, for example, the lower population, obviously the more it's going to be worth with anything. So,
right, the more in demand, right?
Correct.
Because the less of it. So I wanted to also show you the website that Mateo had shown me, the Cardboard Connection. This is a really good source to look for in terms of what to buy. I think that's the biggest question for people is where do I start? Where do I buy? I think you've got to go either one of two ways. You've either got to go to a graded card, an individual graded card that you know will increase in value, depending on your knowledge of the sport and the player. Or if you absolutely must rip open a pack, I think that you invest into a very good pack that you're guaranteed a very either a rare or autographed or game worn jersey memorabilia type card. Otherwise, you're kind of shooting blanks, you guys. When you go to like places like Target, and Walmart, they're gonna show you, like basically the cheapest types of cards, and ones that you're not really gonna get anything that's gonna be worth much money. So yeah. All right, you guys. I really don't have much more to say. I think Tope did a really great job of explaining everything. We can open up the last 5 minutes for any questions. If you guys want us to give you any advice on any specific cards you're looking at, packs, boxes, any players, sports, let us know and we'll cover that right now. So, like for instance, me guys, right now I'm really big on Corey Seager, the MVP shortstop for the Dodgers. So I've been looking for Corey Seager rookie cards, basically every day. And one of the things that I did recently was I purchased a couple of what we call lots, which is a group of the same card, like Topper was talking about. So I purchased, I think it was like five of his rookie cards recently for right around like $5 each. I think it was this one that I purchased. Um, and I'm looking to see if he wins another MVP this season. If Dodgers win another World Series, maybe I flip this individual card for $30, $40, or if I get it graded, um, and so forth. Okay. Orion says, where can I get prism packs from? Well, it's hard to get them in store. Like he said, you can try card shops. You can try, like a Target or Walmart, directly from Panini's website. You can also try eBay, but you're gonna pay a premium, and that's the hard part. Is you're gonna pay a premium on there, but you can search it and see what's going on.
And real quick about that same stuff looking on eBay. This is the first week. Speaking of soccer specifically, um, this is the first week of Prism Premier League. Uh, Again, they're given that they're stocked at Walmart and Target and everything, but since it's week one, prices are insanely high. I believe blasters were going for like 80, 70 to 80, cellos 30 to 35, and if you're first to market, it's the same thing with the population. If the population's low, being first to market gives you an advantage. You can easily make more money because you're the only available. But since this is the first week that it's released, in these coming weeks, it just depends on how many they produce. But in these coming weeks, there's probably going to be a big restock. Usually, week two is like when the bulk of it comes out. So prices are going to probably drop. They're not going to go to retail because of how much hype is in sports cards and cards in general right now. But it may be better to wait for certain things. Like Don Russ basketball just came out. Some people bought day one and they paid a premium because they wanted it as soon as possible. They wanted it to open it or hold it or to sell, whatever. But that same premise is once it's supply and demand. Once there's more supply, demand is probably the same. But
Yeah.
it's also people undercutting.
You guys, one thing I wanted you to look out for, just like the way that I give you my Truckee investment strategies and advice. One thing that I learned as from eBay is be careful with these box breaks. Sometimes what these people do is they'll open up a box that's worth, let's say, like $10,000 or some crazy amount, but they'll sell individual rights to specific teams. So, like for instance, in this example, this person paid $321 for the rights to any player from Liverpool FC in the box break. So that's what you want to be careful with because you're trusting these third party people, and you never know how they can manipulate things on there. So somebody asked a question. Well, how do I know what's of value, right? How do I know what I should be buying? So let's use Kobe Bryant as an example, right? So let's say we wanted to buy a Kobe Bryant because we think we can flip it for more money. It's gonna go up more. Simple. Just search that Kobe Bryant, right? You can either look up rookie card or autograph card, but let's just look up rookie card. Okay. So one of the very first things that I do is just look up the most recent sales or look up the most highest price sales. So for instance, this card right here, this 96-97 Fleer Metal Kobe, I have this card. Okay? Found it in my box after years and years, I have this card. I'm trying to figure out, well, should I sell it? Should I get it graded? So right now, going raw, this card is selling for between $150 to $200. Okay, but graded, it's going for $1,500 up to $2,000. So that's something definitely that I'm gonna want to get graded and probably not sell, to be honest with you. I think that Kobe Bryant's value is only gonna go up. Like Top's head said earlier, they're not gonna reprint his cards. Kobe cannot sign anymore. Rest in peace to Kobe. Can't sign any more cards. So this stuff can only either stay or increase in value as time goes on. Um, so that's kind of what you want to be doing there. So you go to this the search, and you go down to sales. You can either look up most recent sales or the highest ones to see what is of value. So if you have something and you don't know whether it's worth it, go and look into it. And I agree with Dale about hockey. I do agree that hockey is going to start to really climb up. So here's a really good example here. Here you have this Kobe card, right? You see a sale on January 25th for $100,000, right? Or best offer. And then just a couple of weeks later, a week later, the same card sells for $250,000. So somebody probably just picked it up and sold it right back to the market for an easy $100,000. Okay, but how many of us can afford that, right? Um, so keep an eye on that stuff.
So I don't want to. I hate to keep cutting you off, and I
It's okay.
apologize.
No, go ahead.
There are two things I want to mention real quick. When looking at eBay, those titles are important. The things that they say in them, if it's Prism, if it's like Teal Wave or anything, you want to look at that. But things just when you're making an eBay, people put in there just to be able to pop up in more search. If you're looking for an actual one of one, check the card. It's not just it says one of one, because a lot of people put one of one, and it's something silly, but it's something I didn't notice at first. And I never bought cards on eBay. But again, it's just something to look out for. Another thing that talking about hockey, it's a great sports card that's probably going to be rising. And I hate saying this so much because I hate the game, but Fortnite cards, and I shit you not, Fortnite cards.
Hey, bro, I agree, dude. All that shit's gonna blow up, dude. Like all that stuff that sits on the shelf, you should just buy it just in case.
Fortnite, a Fortnite Series 1. In Series 1, they only had holographic and cracked ice. The hit for it was the Black Knight. I only know this because unfortunately I've been sucked into it. The Black Knight cracked ice PSA 10, I think, sold for $30,000 recently. Just an insane.
Get out of here, bro. I'm gonna go to all the stores now and buy the Fortnite. I saw them on the shelf and I was like, Fortnite is too huge to just sit on the shelf, right? And man, you're right, bro. You're right. Like I don't like Fortnite at all,
but Series 2. And even the mega, so the cracked ice were exclusive to mega boxes, and it's the same thing in Series 2. Mega boxes themselves, like all Fortnite, because it's not even a trading card game, it's not even a card game. Usually it sells for half price. So a cello for sports is $10. A cello for Fortnite or a fat pack for Fortnite is $5. And so that same thing translates to megas, just because because they have cracked ice in them. Series 2 megas are retailing for probably, I think, maybe $20 as opposed to $40, and they're reselling for almost $300 currently. Series 1 mega boxes are already in the $2,000. It's baffling, and it makes no sense, but there's so many people who just want to invest and who just want to do something, and it's one of those things that are left. And Fortnite is, unfortunately, like I said, I hate saying, the game of this generation, or a young generation. To respond to KH, it's up to you. So far, packs for Series 2 aren't super expensive. I've been buying them at $5, selling them at $8. I do live rips sometimes. You might be able to find them cheaper. You might be able to find them usually sometimes at $10 even for fat packs. But like if you put, like, I managed an Optichrome Yule Trooper, which, God, I hate that I know the names. An Optichrome Yule Trooper, and I think he's going for like 400, 500. He may be going less because there was just a huge fat pack restock, but it's just another avenue to make money. If you can get Series 1 cards for retail, yeah, get Series 1 cards for retail.
So you guys, I wanted to jump in real quick. I wanted to make sure that you guys are understanding kind of the strategy behind buying these cards and selling them. So to make the analogy with investing, to me, buying a pack from a retail store individually, that's not part of a mega box or hobby box, is kind of like buying an extreme out of the money near date expiration date. Okay, the theta is huge on those. The delta is small. You have a very small chance of getting anything really of value. Now, if you do hit, your profit margins are going to be insane. Kind of like what I did last week with that Prism box pack, right? I spent $50, possibly got a card that's worth $1,500. That is not always the case. So buying these mega boxes, these hobby boxes, or what Mateo was talking about earlier, these cases, that's like buying an in the money option with a longer expiration date. It's going to be way more expensive, but your success rate is going to be way, way higher, and you're going to guarantee yourself something great. Um, yesterday, my brother went to the same card shop, and I had him purchase a pack of a box of Bowman Sterling 2020 for baseball. He paid $380 for that box. Okay, in those boxes, it came 5 packs only of like 10 cards or 7 cards, but he had guaranteed 5 autographs in that box. So I told him, look out for Jason Dominguez, which is a young player from the Yankees, and look out for Bobby Witt Jr. from the Royals. In his very first pack, he got both guys. Not only that, but he got a Jason Dominguez autograph. So that card alone right now is going for around $1,300, $1,400 graded. If he would have bought a pack like at Target or Walmart, I guarantee you he would not have hit any of those players. So consider that when you guys are buying packs, okay? So like I said, packs are options, individual cards are equity, are stock, because you know the value of it. All right,
So,
go on.
real quick to add on to that, and again, sorry.
Okay.
It's definitely good. It's definitely a great suggestion, but it's not a guarantee. I don't know if anyone joined me the other night. I streamed on Twitch. I bought first off the line Optic NFL. I paid $1,000 for it. I may have made $200 back. It was a huge dud, and it's happened before with me with a Mosaic hobby box. It's if you're opening, it's gambling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to. And if, like I said, if you have the money, if you have the resources to do that and to gamble that and be like, if I pull something great, if I don't, I had fun. That's a great mentality. It's wonderful if you have the money, but it's not something you really want to sink a ton of money into based on just a straight gamble. Like, okay, if I pull this one variation of this one player out of 180 players, out of 30 possible variations, it just doesn't. It's like playing the lottery. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Hey, top hat, I gotta like second that and 100% agree. Like I could have spent, like I just personally bought a Justin Herbert Prism Silver. It's a 9 out of 10, but it was $350. But I would have spent $400 trying to find that card, and I would have never found it, and I would have been stuck with a whole bunch of garbage and just chilling on a whole bunch of garbage trying to dump it. So there is, targeting players is something good, especially if you know a player is going to be good, or something's going to be good in the future. You should be targeting that at a cheap price right now.
Yeah, and you guys
Right.
make sure that you're looking through what you're purchasing, right? Like we said, right now we're talking a lot about Panini Prism. So if you search on eBay or even on the website that Top Hat gave us, or even a Cardboard Connection, you want to search what things are going for, right? Search 2020 Panini Prism football and look up the highest sales. Find out what people are actually looking for, what's available, and a lot of times you're gonna find that most of the good cards are already gone. Some of these, like you said, Justin Herbert or 101, right? All of these cards, they might not even be in anymore. If they're out of 10, population 1. So make sure you're paying attention to that, because you might be buying a box hoping that you get a Justin Herbert or a Joe Burrows or a Tom Brady, and guess what? It's already gone. So make sure that you do your due diligence, just like with stocks, into what you're purchasing. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's a lot of fun to open packs. Okay, it's a lot of fun. Um, but
Ripping packs is where it's at, Sharky. Ripping packs is where it's at, but it's a gamble.
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
you don't understand how lucky you got because, like you said, those they were all you secured 5 autographs, and 2 of them, or one of them was amazing. But at the same time, you could have pulled, if this was football, you could have pulled 5 linemen, 5 rookie linemen. I got out of 15 autograph linemen from in his combine outfit. So it's not even in his professional outfit. I think he plays with a tight. So that's essentially worthless, even though it's an autograph.
Mhm. So you guys,
Just
one last thing before we go today, because I think we're running out of time now. We're into an hour. Um, if you're a serious investor, one of the things that Mateo and I have been talking about is there are these cases that are available. Mateo, can you post that website? I think it was DAC cards, right? Um, these are basically boxes of cards. They go between 2 to 3, 4 grand. But if you, right now, like to me, that's a very smart investment. It's almost like buying a I don't know like a 300 call on Tesla for 2022. You know, it's gonna be super expensive, but you're not I don't know say guaranteeing, but you have a much higher probability of landing something. But you don't even have to like options. You don't have to exercise the option and open the box. You can just sell back the box, right? This 20 right here, February 17th last month, 2020 Panini Prism Football Hobby Box sold for $21,000. I guarantee you that person did not pay 21,000. They probably paid 5,000 or 4,000. And if you go to the DA card world that Mateo sent, those boxes are there. I'm going to be considering doing that. I haven't decided which one, but I have a budget of right around 3 grand, 4 grand maybe. I'm going to buy a box, a case, and then maybe hold it for a year. If it goes up in value, I'll sell it. If it doesn't, then I'll just open it up and maybe do a really long TikTok video. All right, guys. Well, maybe eventually I wouldn't mind investing into a card shop. That'd be kind of cool, you know? I played, like somebody asked about Yu-Gi-Oh earlier. I used to love Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, I love that thing. And I love Pokemon too, but when I was in junior high, I got robbed. I got robbed for all my Pokemon cards, and that kind of crushed my spirits with cards. Yeah, it's kind of a sad story, right? Um, but anyway, guys, I hope you guys had fun today. I got the recording. I will save it and upload it maybe to YouTube. And look out for this more. And once again, a big thank you to Top Head and to Mateo for helping us out with the stream and basically taking charge of it. Great job, you guys, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning when the market opens. Have a good night, guys.